Greetings and welcome to Nanny Cooks from the Ozarks. You know, we're entering the most wonderful time of the year for most of us, but there are many that suffer from loneliness or maybe health issues this time of year, and then the budgets get stretched because we have to go out and buy presents. So today we're not going to cook. I'm going to show you some Christmas, I call them gifts of love, that you can make to give to people this year. So to begin with, I'll tell you what we're going to do, and then I'll show you how to do them. The first thing we're going to do is a potpourri mix. Then we have a cappuccino mix, and if you can see one made up here, and it's good on a nice cold wintry day. Then we have some chicken noodle soup mix that's really handy to give to shut-ins or maybe for people that are really busy and just need to fix a quick meal. And the last thing we have is some cinnamon honey butter. Now this is a kind of butter that's made in a famous steakhouse around the country here. It is really good on bread or rolls or sweetbreads also. And you might include a little loaf of bread in with your gift too. But the first thing we're going to look at is this potpourri mix. Now you can either fix this in a jar or you can fix it in a plastic bag, and I'll show you this. But if we can come over here to the stove, and if you have smell-o-video today, you could smell how good our kitchen smells with this potpourri mix. Now, there's no definite recipe for this. We have some basic ingredients that we use, but you can add whatever you want to. You can either cook it on the stove. If you do, I strongly recommend you use a timer so you don't go off and forget about it. And another good way to have it going all the time is in a crock pot on low. So let's go over here and I'll show you how we can put this potpourri together. Now I've used just regular mason jars here, but you can get cheaper jars at the dollar store usually for $1, or in the off season you can go to garage sales and find these jars. You could also, to save a little money, you could just put the ingredients in a cellophane bag. Now, this week I dehydrated some fruits to put in our bag. You can also, if you don't have a way to dehydrate, you can dehydrate vegetables and fruits in the oven at a low temperature. Now it takes several hours to do. Another option is you might put in just an orange with instructions on it to chunk the orange up before you add it to the water, and then you can add these other things to it. One good thing to put in it is some cranberries. Cranberries make it colorful and they smell good. We can also add some cinnamon sticks. You can get these very economically. You can add, this is rosemary sprouts, or you could, pine needles are also good to put in it. I have some cubed ginger too, that's also makes everything smell good. So after you've put whatever you want, cloves give it a really good smell too. After you put everything in it that you want, you can just tie it up or put a lid on it. Make you some little labels on the computer, tie it with a bow with the instructions, and you got a nice little gift to give to someone to show them that you really care. So that's the first thing we have. The next thing we're going to do is the cappuccino mix. This is popular with young people, especially if you have college students, You could fix something like this for them to take to school. All they have to do is add hot water to the powder mix, and they've got a nice tummy warming thing. Now, the cappuccino, this is called French vanilla cappuccino. And I will post all of these recipes so you can get them, because I know we're going kind of fast today. This basically just uses hot chocolate mix, powdered sugar, and instant coffee granules, and dry milk powder. Now, you can make it sugar-free if you want to, and also I use decaffeinated coffee granules, the instant granules too. So that's another idea for a gift. Now, I think the best one is this chicken noodle. You can do that, again, in a jar, or you can put the ingredients in a cellophane bag. It calls for dehydrated vegetables. Now, I dehydrate a lot of my own, but since I was making several of these jars, I bought the dehydrated dried carrots and the dried celery to go in these. And you just layer the ingredients. You have some dry ingredients that you put in a little bag and put it on the top of the inside. And you have the dried carrots and celery and bouillon, either bouillon cubes or bouillon granules, and the dried egg noodles. Now, I'm kind of partial to this Mrs. Miller's brand of dry egg noodles, and they're not mine, but I like the name. So, and then you can put a nice tag on it with directions on the back to tell them how to put it together. And within 30 minutes, they can have a nice, nutritious meal. You could also make this in a pint-sized jar if there's just one person that you're taking it to. All right, that's 3 things now. And then the last thing, this cinnamon honey butter. Doesn't that look good? On a hot roll or hot bread. And this has very basic ingredients. It has, of course, butter, honey, powdered sugar, cinnamon, vanilla, and sea salt. And you can let it sit out at room temperature for 1 to 2 days, or you can keep it in the refrigerator for a long time. So, and again, we will post all of these recipes. And the last thing I have for you today is, if you're computer savvy, and I know it's getting later in the year to do it this year, a recipe book of family recipes is an excellent gift that you can make several copies and cover a lot of gifts at once. This one was made by my sister a number of years ago, where she just had people in our family submit recipes for it. And I love this book. Also, my daughter, when her first daughter got married, she had a recipe book made for us called The Family Gathering. And again, it includes recipes and stories about our family. So if you're computer savvy, and it doesn't have to be fancy, it can be as easy and simple as you want it, or as elaborate as you want it. So these are some gifts of love that we can give to people. But the most important thing is to remember the reason for this season. It's all about that little baby of love too. So if you would like any of these recipes, I urge you to print them off and try them. And I'd love to have your comments on the recipes. And please subscribe to our channel. We appreciate that too. Now, we'll be doing one more video before the end of the year and before Christmas. And I think it's going to be a hoot. It's kind of become a tradition in our family for the kids and the grandkids to get together and make candy. And it gets crazy too. So I'm going to video some of it we're going to do it in a couple of weeks. So hopefully you'll get a good laugh and maybe get some good ideas, some candy to make. So I hope you have a great holiday season. Remember those that are shut in or that might have lost someone this year, and they're not in the real celebrating mood. So let's just take time to care for others. We'll see you the next time. Merry Christmas.